Okay, we'll get that set up and let's hit the play. Okay, hit record now. Wait a second. Put this. Okay. Yeah. Listen to that Bill Brennan, just bring us on home here, right?
It's always a good way to start the show.
Yes.
Right.
Lash it to him there,
All
Dennis.
right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to issue 13 of the Thursday Comics Podcast. I'm your co-host, Dennis Osbourne, accompanied by, like always, the boy commando himself.
Wallace Ryan. Thank you very much there, Dennis. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And it's a beautiful day out here on the East Coast. Sun's shining in, and we're in a great mood.
We're finally caught up. We're on our regular schedule, so this is the normal day we would record.
Yeah.
But we posted one last week, so we're a week behind. So we're basically on track. So it seems like a bonus one, but really we're just caught up to normal now.
But now, speaking of bonus ones, we will be doing one next week.
Sometime next week. So it should go up now next Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when we will be recording, but it will be up next Thursday for sure.
And the cool thing about it, we're testing it out. We're going to try our first interview.
Yeah. I'm going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
We'll probably fail miserably, knowing us.
But hey, we're going to give it a try.
Look up.
But it's going to be with hopefully with Arlen Schumer, who has a webinar, an online seminar about the spirit.
There you go.
You know, being 80 years, I think, isn't it now?
80 years of the spirit, yeah.
And Arlen is always informative, always entertaining to say the least. I love the guy. I think he is a comic book treasure. You know, some people might have a hard time, loving him, but hey, he's just that kind of guy.
There you go.
But this man knows his stuff. I love listening to him talk about comics, and hopefully we'll do it.
That'll be a bit of fun, yeah.
Arlen, yeah.
I'm interested to see how you kind of feed off him a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because you both got little controversial tones.
Yeah. We are actually very much alike. And I mean, we've even had big, very very fiery debates and all that. But we're able to say, well, okay, have a nice day.
Yeah.
And still remain. And I like that. I respect people with strong opinions, but also people who know what they're talking about too.
Right. That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be great to have him as our first guest. And if it goes good, maybe we'll get more guests on. Right?
You got a list of people you would like to be able to that you have contacts.
Oh
with.
Yeah. Craig, if you're listening to this, you're on that list. So, what's the big news there this week there, Dennis?
We got a few topics. Now, nothing extreme, like big news-breaking things, because we only recorded last week.
Yeah.
But
not once where I'll swear a lot, right?
You're right. I swore a lot in the last episode. I got it listed as number 4, but we'll talk about it now. The hashtag Back the Comeback.
Yes.
And supporting your local comic shop, which we've been talking about the last couple episodes.
Yeah. And it's really, and well, yesterday was the big day too.
Yep.
Now, of course, comics come a little bit later to us out here on the island, but and I was glad to see, because I seen an interview, and we posted actually a little clip from Ross Ritchie from Boom.
Yeah, posted on the Facebook.
Yeah,
site there.
And he was having a look at that, and he's challenging other artists to join in the thing, and I love Ross's approach. He really does stand behind the comic book stores. He knows the value and the work that comic book store owners put into. We're like the art galleries for the art form.
Yeah.
Right.
It was really nice to see, and all it comes down to is just supporting your local comic shop.
Yeah. It's not that hard, right?
No, and it kind of ties into one of the other topics, which Marvel and DC are putting out their new solicits.
Yes.
So it's something as simple as going through that, updating your pull list. If you see a paperback or hardcover, add that to your pre-order list, and start generating revenue for...
treat yourself.
Yeah. And start generating revenue for the comic shops. And if any of them are open or they're doing curbside pickup, find a book, pick it up. And like I said, edit your list. Add As it goes through their back issues, if they're open, pick up something.
Yeah, a little bonus, whatever.
Bonus.
And not only that, but by doing that, you're picking up a bonus for yourself. You're picking, because especially if you have a good comic book store and the people know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like our good friend Jason down there at Downtown Comics, if you ask him, that's why I love the flashback feature that we do on the videos for the store. We pick some older recent series and we talk about them either in the past 10 years, 20 years or something like that, and say, hey, for you comic book newer readers, check out this or check out that, and it's a great little feature. Actually, I love doing that, and and same with on my group too. I like talking about some of the older stuff so that some of the younger crowd we can give them a bit of background. It's like being a film fan and turning someone on to Casablanca or Citizen Kane, right?
And even it's not so much like going back, like you're going to recommend Kirby era, because that might not be something for a modern reader.
Yeah.
You go back a couple of years, even up as 10 years.
Yeah.
The styles are still the same, but comic books now, they're often forgotten. Like there's very, very few iconic instant classics, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. But they're published, they get a bit of acclaim, and then they're just kind of forgotten and swept aside. And there's a lot of really good comics that...
Like Astro City, for instance.
Astro City.
One of those.
I rave about Astro City. I would love a complete collection omnibus of Astro City.
Yeah. Hear that, DC? Yeah.
One of the early episodes we did, I went through the awards that it won.
Yeah.
It won Eisner's every year in the 90s.
Oh, pile of them.
And I think the Ink Spot Awards, but it was a constant best writing, best covers with Alex Ross, best art,
best stories,
one-off stories.
Yeah.
It always won.
Oh yeah, and you're right. It's like it vanished. Same with Stray Bullets too. Another fabulous, especially for anyone who likes Brubaker, for instance.
Yeah.
If you like Brubaker, you'd love Stray Bullets.
Right.
I just finished, as a matter of fact, just finished Velvet and Killer Be Killed this week. That was my COVID reading for this week, by the way. And I loved it. So
he has another one coming. I think Pulp is coming out. The cowboy western, which is really. I'm really excited for.
The boys do a great job, don't they? Right?
They know their style.
So we love you, Ed. We love you.
Comic books like Strangers in Paradise.
Yes.
Liberty Meadows. All these comic books that are almost gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
Like
even Year One for Miller, right?
Yeah.
That's to me one of the finest Batman stories of all time.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorites, and I now found that some people may not have heard. Now some have heard of it because of the animated film, for instance. Right. And I say to them, well, if you like the thing, read the comic because the comic is just beautifully done.
By Mazzucchelli and Miller.
Oh, the Maz was the jazz, right?
But comic books are just often forgotten after they're published, they're put out, and very few just kind of remain around. If you go through and you look at must-buy books, it's always Dark Knight Returns, it's always Watchmen, it's always Mouse, and there's very few new titles that are recommended.
Yeah, where's your Doom Boy? Where's
Let's say comic modern one.
The Goon.
I'm looking at one right now. Vision.
Yes.
Vision was acclaimed Eisner Award winner.
Great.
Now you don't hear a peep about it.
Yeah. Same with his Mr. Miracle too. Right. Great comics. Right. And and same with like Harrow County, another one, or Black Hammer. Great comics. Right.
Yeah.
And and we owe it to these people to keep these type of things alive. The Oath, the Doctor Strange one, a classic. It took me years to find it and all that. And when I read it, I was just like, who has been hiding this from me all these fucking years, right? You bastards, right?
And like what we described, which is funnier, was we just named off all these different genres.
Yeah.
Crime noir and horror, and Goon is kind of horror, crime, a little bit of everything.
Love and Rockets.
Yeah.
Magic realism.
There's so many different genres.
Peter Bagg with Hate.
Yeah.
Which is coming out in a box set, and by the way, you got to get that. It's one of the funniest comics out there, and it's now that's the type of comic I think it's still today's collectors would still like, because it is edgy.
Yeah.
And it's obviously there's large parts of it got to be autobiographical, but it's real. It speaks right to your soul. Same with anything by Joe Madden and the Boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I say, besides, as we were saying, besides getting your regular ones, reach out and pick up one of these great side comics.
Talk to your comic shop owner or worker. They probably have a bunch of hidden gems, especially if they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
They've seen everything.
Kaiju Max, there's another one.
No,
see?
right?
We could go on forever, but yeah, exactly.
They know what they're talking about. Just ask them. Don't go if you go to a bookstore like an Amazon or a Chapter or something. Not Amazon. They basically just carry new stuff.
Yeah, and it's like they pick it off the bestsellers list, or they've gone online and looked up what are good graphic novels. And you're right, it's always the same, Watchmen and blah 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 blah.
That's a guy who's owned a comic shop for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and he'll tell you some hidden gems.
Exactly.
For sure, right?
Exactly. And I mean, there's more out there besides DC and Marvel, right? There's so many. As a matter of fact, a lot of the titles we mentioned were from other companies. So check out Dynamite, check out IDW, check out the Mobius books that Dark Horse has been putting out, or their EC. Dark Horse, well, they're one of the, they're one of the gems out there. Them in the Library of American Comics. Check out some of those.
One book I will recommend, which you can actually get pretty worldwide now because of Scholastic. Check out Bone.
Absolutely. Oh, that definitely goes into the category of vanished comics.
I know you can get them anywhere. You can't get them in many bookshops because it was Scholastic now produces it. But that series is kid friendly. Some adult themes, adult stories.
Yeah.
It's a giant spanning adventure like Lord of the Rings.
It is. I love it. As a matter of fact, when I first started reading it, I didn't even think of it as a kid's comic. But the more I read it, I can remember thinking, kids are like this.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was black and white, and then I think Scholastic put it out in color.
Yeah.
Good digital color, and it didn't take away from it. Normally a black and white comic should be a black and white comic.
Yeah. It's one of the few that actually worked with. Right?
Yeah, that's my recommendation for the week. Look up Bone.
Yeah.
Especially like one of the later ones, The Great Cow Race.
Yes.
Is
they're
just hilarious.
Hilarious, funny, everything.
Yeah.
And with me, I'd say, look up the anything by Peter Bagge. His comics, hilarious, worth reading, right?
Yeah.
Some of the first comics that actually make me laugh out loud. Because, I mean, there's one thing to be watching a funny film and laugh out loud, or a stand-up comedian and laugh out loud. But to be reading a comic and start to chuckle.
Yeah.
It's, that's magic, that is, right? So what else is on our schedule here for today?
So we briefly talk about the new comics and solicits and everything. I'm going to merge two. DC releasing digital comics the same day as regular. They announced they're getting rid of that instead of being the week late. And Marvel finishing off certain series as digital only.
What the fuck is going on here, right?
We'll talk about DC first.
Yeah.
Putting comics out as digital the same day release. It could persuade people, especially now, not to support your local comic shop.
Yeah, they're going contrary to the way everyone else is going.
Yeah.
It's just it's like they're abandoning. Well, they really are. They're abandoning the comic book store owners who for 20, 30, maybe even some out there 40 years, whatever, who've been doing their hard work for them, who've been working for them in the trenches. They're screwing them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for fuck's sake, DC, what the hell is the matter with you? This is your bread and butter. Is it? I don't know. Is there new management there who just don't give a damn, or are they under the mistaken idea that digital's the way to go? Everyone seems to be going digital. Let's go digital, right? Someone with a concussion, maybe.
Right.
Maybe they're making the decision. But it's absolutely insane. It just got me madder and madder the more I read it. Right.
I'd like to know how successful digital comics are, because I know some people still prefer digital, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually own anything. You're basically just renting the comic.
Yeah. And what if, and this is what I've been putting out there lately, what if they decide, 5 years down the road, well, hey, time for us to turn this into a subscription service.
Right.
Just like they've done with DVDs and movies. I
Yep.
mean, 20 years ago we could go out and we could buy the movies we wanted to see, and we'd have them on our shelves, like my Simpsons, my entire collection of the Simpsons there.
That was on Disney.
Yeah, and now I can watch them anytime, unedited.
Yeah.
Right? I can watch the Michael Jackson episode if I want. I can watch anything. You have ownership of it.
Right.
With digital, you're at the whim of corporate giants who aren't into it for the comics.
No.
I don't believe. Right? Their actions, as a matter of fact, their actions speak louder than words.
I would like to know, and I don't know why they don't release it. When they release the sales every month, and it's like, oh, Spider-Man sold 150,000 copies. Batman sold 125. They never release the digital sales numbers.
Yeah. Well, I heard rumors that Jim Lee said something basically that the digital sales for DC have just flattened out.
Right.
And I mean, at the comic book store, for one thing, graphic novels. Graphic novels have exploded.
Yeah.
In the past 10 years. It's amazing the amount, both hardcover and softcover that we sell. Mainly, of course, softcover. And people love the format. And not only that, it helps them get into more comics because they can buy other collections because they may have missed the comics when they were coming out. But you can, and I would love this as a kid, right? Because of course, as kids, I started with Superman, Superboy, and the Legion of Superheroes number 197.
Yeah.
I didn't start with no goddamn number 1, right?
No. That was the fun. It was when you're reading like a Spider-Man comic, and he makes a quip, and you get that little bar by the editor, and it's like, see Amazing Spider-Man 139.
Yeah.
By the editor.
Love that.
And you're like, oh, I might have to check out 139. And it's an evolution then. That's how you build a collection.
Yeah.
And you went around
and loyalty.
And you tried to, and loyalty. And you want to track down those issues. If he fought Green Goblin, he's like, oh, I haven't seen you since issue 139.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what happened in 139?
Oh, gotta check that out.
I gotta go check that out, track it down.
Yeah. For more information or a background story on this, check,
And you got little editor notes, and sometimes they were funny.
Yeah.
And it's like, shucks, editor.
Yeah.
And when they were tongue-in-cheek, it was fine. But that's how you built up your knowledge.
Yeah.
You track this, like, oh, this happened in this, and then they might announce something in that, and you're kind of going back and forth. That was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
As opposed to just like number one, number one, number one, number one.
Yeah.
And the previous volume meant nothing.
Yeah, I don't know where they got this idea that, people want a continuous series of number ones. It's like Squirrel Girl. What is there, 4 or 5 number ones out there?
Right.
Just putting them in the back issue section alone has become a pain in the arse, right?
You can't sort through it. You don't know.
No, and it sows confusion.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, that's the one thing you don't want with any product.
Yeah.
Whether it's shoes, socks, books, records, movies, whatever. You don't want people to be confused and not know what you want to make it as simple as possible, I think, right?
Well, I know someone, he went to a comic shop and he bought, I think it was like Spider-Verse or Scarlet Spider, one of them. Mm-hmm. He bought a volume 1 and he went to read it and he didn't understand, he bought volume 2. But it was volume 2 of like the 3rd series.
Okay, yeah, well,
and he
exactly.
was reading, he bought volume 1 of the 2nd series. Like, why am I missing a chunk of stuff? I was like, well, you gotta get this one, and then it relaunches, and you gotta get this one. He's like, that's too confusing for me.
Yeah.
And he didn't buy another one.
Yeah, exactly. So so they're cutting off their noses to spite their faces. It's like Jason had told me, used the expression of orphan series.
Yeah.
Right, this is what they're doing. Well, like New 52, one of the biggest orphan series out there.
Yeah.
Right. Then again, you got Marvel Reborn, all these things that are just left to languish on the shelves, right?
Yeah. So that was a good segue, actually, because we can go Marvel Digital Only Comics.
Oh, yes. You got a personal stake in this, sure.
Well, I was getting a couple of them. Now, one of them is Ironheart, but that's a number 1, so that's not so bad. But you look at, I think it was Hawkeye and Spider-Man and Black Cat, based off the Gamerverse stuff. That was a 4-issue mini, I think, and they put out 1, 2, and 3, and issue 4 now will be digital only.
Yeah, that sucks, right?
So,
what a slap in the face.
So if I want to finish my story, either got to get it digitally, which you don't have it complete, so then I got to buy 1, 2, and 3 digitally, not have the complete series, or buy the paperback, eventually comes out,
Yeah.
and my 1, 2, and 3 comic are wasted.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
It's like they're not supporting their own product.
Right. So now I was wondering, what they should have done is those comics are 1, 2, and 3 that the comic shops now will never sell because the series will never be completed.
Yeah.
Why wasn't there a return policy or something implemented on those?
And there should be. There should be. Yeah, definitely.
You can return on all your unsold copies of 1, 2, and 3 for credit.
Yeah.
Because
you got screwed on them.
You're never going to get a finish.
And the worst thing about it was they sold these to comic book store owners without telling them.
Yeah.
It borders on. It's not fraudulent. It's just dishonest.
Yeah.
Is what I think it is. It's just like, come on, people. Why are you doing this to your audience? It's like selling tickets to a movie, and as you're going into the movie, there's someone there and kicks you in the nuts on the way in. Right? Here you go. Oh. And by the way, we're not going to pay you the first 10 minutes of the movie. Right? That's only available on now a digital thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on, people, right?
I mean, it makes no sense, and I don't know why they do that, especially if there's one issue remaining.
Yeah.
Now, if they want to, and Ironheart will be digital only, what odds? Your company, do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to start like that,
yeah,
fine, go right ahead.
Fine, do that. And then it gets collected in paperback, fine. People still have the option to buy it.
Yeah.
But don't cut them off halfway through.
No, that's ridiculous. When you first told me about that, I actually almost couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow, what a punch in the nards, right?
Right.
Oh God, it just makes me angry. It makes me want to go out and start punching throats and kicking heads, just like Mo, right?
Like Mo.
Yeah.
Good old Mo.
But yeah, it just gets my dander up, right? And I'm sure it's made a lot of people, well, like yourself, when you mentioned that, you were pissed off.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, thanks a lot, guys, right?
Because you just can't finish a story. Whether it's good or bad or selling or not, if you're allowing it for some people and not others,
Exactly.
it defeats the purpose of doing it.
Yeah. It's like making two different clubs, right?
Yeah.
It's like the cavalry kids versus in that Simpsons episode, right? The two different scout troops fighting against each other, right? It's not good for it's not good for them.
No.
Really, because all you're going to do is get people angry, and then they'll say, you know what? Boom never does this to me.
No.
IDW or Image has never done this to me. And eventually, they're going to start to lose, business because, and I'm sure with comic book store owners, there's a lot of comic book store owners that are like saying, yeah, well, fuck you. I'm not going to order, I'll order the Batman and the, all the big titles.
Yep.
But for the next few months, I'm not going to order all your crappy selling titles that I put my money on the line and take chances on. I'm not going to take chances on your stuff anymore.
No.
I'll bring in some of your big ones. Sure, when I had my comic book store, there were comics that I wouldn't carry because they never sold worth shit.
No.
It's like the famous story I've told you many times. The guy came in, do you have Death's Head UK, whatever? And I said, no. He says, why not? It's a Marvel comic. I said, do you want it? He says, no. I said, there you go.
Right.
And to me, as I told one guy, I said, I look at my shelves as my army, and these are my little soldiers. And if my little soldiers are performing, they're out, back home with you, right? And that spot is going to be taken up by someone who will lead the charge for me.
Yeah.
And it's DC and Marvel. They're really, they're like Trump. They're giving up their leadership roles to others. So you got people like I say, like Ross Ritchie from Boom, who are stepping up, really supporting the industry. All the other comic book companies are really lining up to help out, and they're there spending their time, like I say, punches in the back of the head, right?
Doing what they want, which is not fair.
Yeah, just makes me want to. Well, for one thing, makes me want to gurgle now,
right?
After talking about it for so long, right?
Right, so we also got, which you showed me earlier, the Mark Waid, Neil Adams Fantastic Four. So we'll talk about that quickly, and then we'll talk about the Marvel DC crossover potential that a lot of people want to help comic sales.
Okay.
So Mark Waid, Neil Adams, Fantastic Four. Neil Adams has never done Fantastic Four.
Well, he drew them in the Kree-Skrull War.
Yeah.
In one of those, but those were the Skrulls appearing.
Right.
But he has more or less drawn them.
Okay.
And for the most part, it looked pretty good. His thing has always been problematic.
His thing looked really ape-like.
Yeah.
It was like the big lower jaw.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was his expression to the cover. You can check it out.
Yeah. But well, with Mark Waid doing the writing, I'm at least somewhat optimistic. This could be a really cool title.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Waid did the acclaim run with Waringa.
Okay.
We kind of brought him back to like the family aspect.
Okay.
But he said this will start off with a cosmic threat and grow and grow and grow, kind of beyond Galactus.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. That's interesting.
Yeah,
for sure.
it got my curiosity, and I've been a Neil Adams fan
Right.
since the '70s. So
And
it's
people still like. He's kind of controversial now a little bit because they say like Zark's not the same, and his Batman stories have been hit or miss. But if he's guided by a great writer,
it works
because
out.
a lot of times he was doing the creator-owned stuff.
Yeah.
Or he was the writer and artist and inker and everything.
Yeah.
But if he's guided by Mark Waid,
Yeah.
and Mark Waid has a story he wants to tell, it could be fantastic.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they'll be on my pull list. And like
Yeah.
I said, if you notice it, go to your comic shop, add it to your pull list. It could be a great comic and it's additional revenue for all the shops.
Back to come back.
Yep. And lastly, a lot of people are asking for like a Marvel DC crossover. If you want to help comic shops, two companies figuring something out would only be beneficial for everybody.
Exactly.
And it could be another Avengers JLA series. It could be Spider-Man, Superman, a Batman, Superman, like Batman, Spider-Man.
Moon Knight.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
But
maybe even, dare I say, a decent amalgam. Well, no, I like the last amalgam series.
yeah, some of them were funny.
Yeah.
And fun.
And they were fun. But even something like that, another amalgam event, it was great just to see, all these characters smashed together.
Yeah.
I love the Batman Wolverine one, for instance. Wonderfully done, right?
Dark Claw.
Dark Claw, that was it. And some of the other ones were really, really good. The what was the Magneto and the X-Men?
Magneto and the Magnetic Man or something like
that.
this.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, Challengers of the Fantastic.
Yes.
Challengers of the Unknown.
Yeah. And what was the John Byrne one that was the Wonder...
Amazon,
that was it.
with Storm and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So.
And they were great mashups. It was just like, love the series.
But it'll be a good way, if they can get along, and the industry is struggling because of everything that's on the go, it's guaranteed big sales.
Yeah. And bring more people back into the store.
More people back in. There's a generation now that haven't gone through a Marvel DC crossover since early 2000s. I think it was the Perez run. With Perez and I think, was it Mark Waid? Or Busiek?
For the
JLA Avengers.
I think, jeez, I can't remember.
You can't even remember. But there's a generation now that hasn't had any of that.
Yeah.
So the idea of a Superman Spider-Man crossover would be massive.
Oh, I mean, when the first one came out in the 70s, everyone were falling over themselves to get it. I did. I got it. I loved it. Right. It was.
And social media wasn't big back then, or even in the early 2000s. You didn't have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So all this publicity